Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greetings to Yang Mulia Dr. Ungku Fatimah Ungku Zainal Abidin, Head of Department of Food Service Management, Faculty of Food Science and Technology, all lecturers of Faculty of Food Science and Technology, Mr. Muhammad Hisham Tan Abdullah, President of Malaysia of Food and Beverage Executive Association, all industry guest speakers, and students of Faculty of Food Science and Technology. Assalamualaikum and good morning. Welcome to the Food and Beverage Career Path Sharing Session with the Malaysia Food and Beverage Executive Association. I'm Dewi.
And I'm Kila, and will be your MC for today's career sharing session. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our sharing session, please join me in welcoming the Head of Department of Food Service and Management, Dr. Ungku Fatimah binti Ungku Zainal Abidin, for her welcoming speech. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, esteemed guests, distinguished members of Malaysian Food and Beverage Executive Association, our respected speakers, faculty members, and dear students. It is my great honor to welcome you all to the Food and Beverage Career Path Sharing Session with the Malaysian Food and Beverage Executive Association, or known as M.F.B.E.A. Okay, so silent the F, it's M.F.B.E.A, okay? To here at this Aerodyne Room, Putra Business School, University Putra, Malaysia. So today mark another milestone in our journey towards enhancing the readiness of our students at the Faculty of Food Science and Technology for the vibrant and ever-evolving world of the hospitality industry. This program, thoughtfully redesigned, aims to bridge the gap between academic learning and professional practice in the food service sector. The essence of today's session is to provide a platform for our students to gain insight, wisdoms and guidance from leaders and professionals who have carved successful path in the F&B industry. So we are here to uncover the opportunity that awaits our graduates in the industry, emphasizing the significance and impact of career in the sector. So I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Muhammad Hisham Tan Abdullah, the President of M.F.B.E.A, Mr. Leslie Horn, the Vice President of Events at M.F.B.E.A, Mr. Pravindran Palakrishnans, the President of Malaysia Mixology Guild, Madam Norina, the Deputy Chairman of the Professional Coffee Connoisseur at M.F.B.E.A, and Madam Farida Harina Zairi, the founder of Coffee for Good. Your willingness to share your knowledge, experiences, and insight is not just a contributions, but a pillar of motivations for our students. Not to forget, I would like to also thank and congratulate the organizing committee of this event, which is our second-year student. And they are their facilitator for making this a success one. So please join me in offering them a loud round of applause. Through organizing this event, I hope they have gained valuable experience that contributes to their growth. More importantly, it is my sincere wish that they recognize the significant benefit their effort have brought to all their peers. Maybe I can also share some update with our guest speakers that lecturers in most universities in Malaysia have three main KPIs, which are teaching, research, and community work. But here in UPM, we recently added one more KPI, which is student development. And this KPI involve, among others, components like student character development, leadership, and student empowerment. So therefore, this event is a proof to the commitment of University Putra Malaysia in ensuring that our students develop not only academically proficient, but also industry ready. We envision our students not just as graduates, but as future leaders, innovators, and pioneers in their respective field, inshallah. Through this session, we aim to provide an in-depth understanding of the real-world application and challenges in the hospitality industry. Also, it is an opportunity for our students to interact directly with industry experts, fostering a learning environment that extends beyond classroom. So in conclusion, I hope today's session be filled with engaging discussion, meaningful exchange, and lasting connection that will guide our students as they navigate their career path in hospitality industry. So dear students, please ask questions. Please ask a lot of questions that make sure you clear your mind. Before you leave this room, you will choose no other place but to work in the hospitality industry. Thank you once again to all our guest speakers for your invaluable participations and to everyone present here for your engagement and support. Let's make this session a milestone in our continuous pursuits of excellence in the food and beverage industry. With that, I end my speech with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Unku Fatimah, for your insightful words. Now, to get us through this discussion, we have the privilege of having Dr. Melissa and 5 distinguished panelists, all holding significant position within the M.F.B.E.A. Without further delay, let's get to know them.
Our moderator for today is a true expert in the field. Dr. Wan Melissa is a distinguished educator specializing in sales and marketing in the food industry. With over a decade of market research experience, she has worked with prominent companies such as Samsung, High Five, Cadbury, Sushi King, and Flavorista. Dr. Wan Melissa holds a PhD degree in tourism and hospitality from the University of Otago, Dunedin, New Zealand. Her academic journey also includes master's and bachelor degrees from Massey University, New Zealand. Her wealth of knowledge and practical insight make her the perfect guide for our discussion today. Please join me in welcoming the highly accomplished Dr. Wan Melissa.
Now, let's meet the esteemed panelists who will be sharing their experience and wisdom in the vibrant world of food and beverage. Our first panelist is a distinguished figure in the Malaysian food and beverage industry embodying leadership excellence.
Please join me in welcoming Mr. Muhammad Hisham Tan Abdullah, the President of M.F.B.E.A since 2003. In recognition of his exceptional contributions to the food and beverage industry, Mr. Hisham Tan recently received the Leadership Excellence in the Food and Beverage Industry 2022 trophy at the Asian Food and Travel Awards 2022, representing the collective achievements of his industry peers. A true luminary in the field, Mr. Hisham Tan has led the Malaysian Food and Beverage Executive Association with remarkable skills and vision. Mr. Hisham Tan Abdullah has been an influential figure in M.F.B.E.A since its founding in 1988. His transformative leadership has significantly expanded the association's scope, evolving from its root in the food and beverage service sector to include M.F.B.E.A Culinary Kitchen and M.F.B.E.A Professional Coffee Connoisseur Barista. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Muhammad Hisham Tan Abdullah, a true leader and influencer in the Malaysian food and beverage industry.
Our next panelist is a seasoned professional with an impressive 25-year journey in the hospitality and food and beverage industry. Let's welcome Mr. Leslie Hon Kak Seng, currently serving as the Group F&B Operation Manager for West Liang Group of a company in Kuala Lumpur. Originally from Kuching, Sarawak, Mr. Leslie's expertise span various sectors, including hotel, club, restaurant, bar, KTV lounge, and spa, with significant contribution to the pre-opening phase of prestigious hotel in Singapore and Malaysia. His career is marked by roles such as wine sommelier, outlet manager, restaurant, and bar manager. A member of the Singapore Sommelier Association in the mid-19, Mr. Leslie currently holds the position of Vice President of Event with the M.F.B.E.A. Let's extend a warm welcome to Mr. Leslie Hon Kak Seng, a distinguished figure in the realm of hospitality.
Our next panelist is a seasoned professional in the world of beverage, renowned for his expertise in the F&B industry since 2005. Please welcome Mr. Pravindran Palakrishnan. Mr. Vin has demonstrated remarkable prowess in his career, collaborating with distinguished entities such as Gastrodome Management and the Big Group. He is the founder of successful French Bistro and the Brew at Schoolcase Company. Certified with distinctions such as the Illy Master Barista from Universidad del Café de Teste and Professional Barista from Barista Girl Asia, Mr. Vin's impact extends beyond individual achievements. He actively contributes to the industry through roles such as General Committee member of the M.F.B.E.A and the President of the Malaysian Mixology Guild. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Pravindran Palakrishnan, a true maestro in the world of beverage.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our attention to a seasoned expert in the coffee industry, someone with over 2 decades of invaluable experience. Please welcome Madam Norina binti Hassan. Madam Norina's journey began in 1998, a management trainee and a barista, quickly rising to become the company's first coffee roaster by 2001. In 2019, she founded Kokoff Sdn Bhd, a coffee roasting company, and introduced the esteemed steep brew coffee brand Kopi Bayan Nuri. Currently, Madam Norina is the operation director and head roaster of Atma Bening Sdn Bhd. Atma Coffee overseeing both coffee roasting and retail operation. Additionally, she served as the deputy chairman of the Professional Coffee Connoisseur under the M.F.B.E.A. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Madam Norina binti Hassan, a distinguished leader in the coffee world.
Our final panelist is a visionary entrepreneur who has successfully merged business innovation with social impact. Please welcome Madam Farida Halina Zairi, the founder of Coffee for Good. In 2015, Madam Farida identified a gap between youth unemployment and the needs of the coffee industry. This inspired the creation of Coffee for Good, a social enterprise focused on equipping underserved youth with essential F&B industry skills. With 15 years of professional experience, including roles in the oil and gas industry and quality management, Madam Farida brings a wealth of knowledge to her role. Under her guidance, Coffee for Good has implemented impactful programs such as the Coffee for Good Youth Employability Program and the Coffee for Good Young Entrepreneur Program. These initiatives aim to enhance the employability of youth and empower aspiring entrepreneurs in the coffee sector. Let's warmly welcome Madam Farida Halina Zairi, a trailblazer in the field of sociable, responsible entrepreneurship.
Now, without further delay, I will hand it over to our moderator, Dr. Wan Melissa, to get us through this enlightening food and beverage career path sharing session. Dr. Wan Melissa, the stage.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Hope you have a great day today. My name is morning to Uncle Fatima. Basically, I'd like to share about my journey in the hospitality and F&B industry. Back in 1990, when I went to Singapore, I started my journey in the hospitality. And also have the chance to work in the fine dining continental restaurant. Back then it was called Hubertus Grill. That is when I learned how to provide a fine dining service to the customers. Back in the days, fine dining was the very trend kind of a service in the hotel industry. And most of the hotels, especially the 5 stars, are having fine dining restaurants. And during the time, there's a lot of things to learn. Basically, the services are very comprehensive, something like Garridon service. Garridon service where you provide carving, maybe you do Caesar salad preparations or steak tartare. So these are the Garridon service that we provide to the guests. And also we have the flambe. Flambe where we provide cooking with flaming, whereby we add some spirits in the cook while cooking. So it creates a flame and also some kinds of showmanship to the guests. So some of the cooking which I think I like to share is lobster bisque, steak Diane, scallop flambe, and also dessert as well. Dessert, we also provide flambe desserts like crêpes Suzettes, strawberry flambe. So this kind of flambes that we prepare by the table side. Carving of the day also we will feature in the restaurant. So we have daily carving. So part of carving like roast prime rib, beef Wellington. I'm sure you heard of the names. So these are salmon carving, the salmon with puff pastry. So these are the carving main course that which we provide to the guests. So normally we will bring in the garnishes. So when the garnishes arrive, we plated the garnishes and then we carved the item per portion, and then we will dress it on the plate with the sauce, everything, present it according to the chef's standard. So this is how we serve during the carving. Also, at the end of the meal, we also provide coffee. Coffee means with spirits. So normally we provide Irish coffee, orange coffee, Coffee Diablo, Cafe Royal. So these are the coffees after meal. So after once the guests finish their dessert, so we provide them the meal. So of course we have a range of other things like wines and all that, which accompany with the food. Besides that, we also have a range of soft drinks, liquors and all that, which we provide to the guests. So I learned a lot in the fine dining. I spent about 8 years in Singapore learning the craft of the fine dining. Of course, I was eventually I was appointed as a wine sommelier, where the company actually arranged me to a trip to France where I learned I am getting my certificate in France for the wine. So I got a chance to visit all the wineries in France, like Burgundy, Bordeaux, Chablis, you know, even Champagne regions. So these are the places that I've traveled, and I met with some of the proprietors, which we actually made an arrangement prior to our travel. So we met up with a few domains, some of the chateaus owners. Then we make a visit there, and also it was a very good experience for us to get to learn about the vinification, the viticulture of the wine. These are the things that we learned in France, and also got the chance to attend a very big wine fair globally. So basically, all the wines from different parts of the world having their booth in the exhibition. So these are the experiences that I learned. Also, how to manage the restaurant. So from guest services, eventually I went into running the restaurant, how to manage all my fellow colleagues, you know, in the restaurants, how to meet the guests' expectations. Customer expectation is very important. Customer complaint, we look into it very seriously. So we have to make sure we provide some kind of solution, if possible, immediately, not to drag the problems while the customer is making complaints. So if in the absence of the managers, the supervisors will immediately attend to the customers and solve the customer problem. Yeah, maybe the food is too salty, or there's something wrong with the food, not cold, not hot enough. So that's why when you serve food, make sure the temperature is always there. It's very important. Hot food is always served hot. Never serve hot food at the lukewarm or warm temperatures. So each time when we serve the food from the kitchen, we have to time ourselves, right? We don't want, by the time the food comes to your table, everything is cold. You know when a meat or steak served on the table when it's cold, there's a fat there. The fat will actually show that it's like turning color, right? The fat, if it's cold. So we don't want to serve hot food with that kind of temperature. So this is what I learned from the hotel. The chef is very particular with the service. Once the food is ready, pick it up and go and serve. Do not leave it there for more than few minutes or 5 minutes, right? So this is one thing that I think when you're in the industry, you have to pay attention on the food temperature, okay? And then also service, when you do service, make sure you don't make a lot of noise. Always serve your customers quietly, no matter how busy you are, right? Or you're running up and down. By the time you reach the customer, you have to slow down immediately, right? Like it or not, you have to be very calm and serve the food quietly to the guests, and not like serve and then then left the plate without proper placing. When you serve the food to your guests, let's say it's a Western food, the main is always facing the guests, correct or not? Not the garnishes. Okay, so you must make sure that the meat or anything, meat, beef, chicken, or anything, fish, always face the guests, right? That is number one priority. Okay, you always face the guest. Of course, when you serve noodles and all that, it's okay, because noodle is one whole plate. But if you serve Western, the meat must face the guest, and then the garnish on top. So certain dishes come with sauce. Maybe you serve the sauce separately, right? So maybe it comes with brown sauce or pepper sauce. So when you serve the food to the guests, where do you serve? On the right, on the left? Always serve on the right, right? So things like that, you have to pay attention to customer service. So especially in the restaurants, very particular with all the setting on the table. Make sure it's clean, spotless on your cutlery. Make sure your cutlery is not dirty. Always wipe, shining, spotless when you set the table. And so when you serve, you have to be very serve it gently, right? After you serve, when you serve, the minute you serve, what do you say? Tell the guests, enjoy your food, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your lunch.
Yeah,
Always beat pleasantries to your guests.
I couldn't agree with you more. The quality of service
Thank you.
is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. If we can come back to that again,
Sure.
could we move to the next panel?
Certainly.
Puan Farida, to share about her journey in the industry.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good morning. Thank you, Miss Moderator. Thank you, students, and all the team who managed to get everything done nicely. Okay. My journey. I'm a degree holder in business, majoring in marketing. I have no food experience as education background. Only I eat food to make sure I complete my degree. And I've been a coffeeholic since my university years. Before that, I don't drink coffee. So I have to have a bottle of coffee in my hand everywhere I go, even traveling. So I'm very well known with my coffee in my hand lah. So I studied business, majoring in marketing, but my experience was I was working in I was working in manufacturing as my first job. So since day one, entering the kilang, Minah Kilang, I wanted to go out. So I was not meant to be in the manufacturing industry. So the next job was in customer service. So this is one of the skills that I think most important in my journey towards F&B. So still with my coffee in hand, every morning I go to make sure I have my coffee supply. So during my years working as the customer service for a quality management system company, I think I spent about 1 or 2 hours talking to barista. So just learning how to make coffee, like what coffee they use. And I switched my role into technical after few years lah, cannot remember. And there was the point where I learned project management, another important skill towards my journey to F&B. So also keeps learning on coffee. And in 2015, I was lucky to be selected to take up VSS. So because it's an oil and gas company, so I was chosen to voluntarily quit my job. And Alhamdulillah, I think it's a hikmah where I use the what do you call the money that I get from the VSS to buy a coffee machine. And before that, before I get the letter to accept the BSS, I actually took a class to learn coffee in Sydney. So I prepare myself before I accept to be, to voluntarily stop working with something to make sure that I know what I'm going to. So that is to start a coffee business. So that's how I end up in the coffee industry. And in 2015 also is where I learned about social enterprise. So these two I combine, and Alhamdulillah I set up the Coffee for Good. So that's where my journey in coffee lah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Puan Farida. And there are many leaders in the industry who did not receive formal education in hospitality. So, and all these students in front of you, they are going to graduate with a bachelor's degree in food service management. But I'll come back to that. And I'll let Puan Noreen share with us her journey in the industry.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to everybody. Yeah, Noreen. I'm known as Noreen. Now, ever since I was 15, I was paving my path to become an accountant. So, you studied and then up to diploma level. During the break, I had a chance to do part-time in a company doing bookkeeping. And there I decided, no, this is not my path. I am an outgoing person. I need to meet people. Accountancy just bound me to the desk, and I don't think so. So hence I went out and told my father, I'm so sorry. This is where I stopped. But I need to look for something that I love. At the same time, my mom is a marvelous cook. She's an amazing cook. She started her own catering company. So I joined, this is good. This is nice. So I fell in love with more of food industry. And I joined San Francisco Coffee in 1998, actually to learn how to manage a cafe, because that was my dream then, to manage a cafe. And then I was introduced to coffee. I mean, San Francisco Coffee is coffee. Back then, Starbucks coffee bean baru nak masuk. So it's something. And San Francisco Coffee is a Malaysian company. Started in Malaysia. And to learn the management, because I was, employed as a management trainee. So I opened, branch, managing, and then recruitment of staff. We were given a lot of free hand. We were given as though we are managing our own outlet. So from there, I fell in love with coffee. And, I did not have that much exposure of coffee except Kopi Kampung. But in San Francisco Coffee, it's something different. And I begin to understand. I was always intrigued with wine tasting. How they taste and they can evaluate, So in coffee, I learned, then I was exposed, wow, it's something like that. So I decided to go deeper into coffee. When they decided to roast in Malaysia, roasting coffee, it was something very new then. I decided to be the first roaster. And Alhamdulillah, San Francisco Coffee, the coffee that you drink today has got a little bit of history with me being the first hand to roast the coffee. And from then on, I learned a lot about coffee. I talked to Mardi, I talked to Fama, and I went into detail in farming. I was also lucky because the company sent me for origin trip. Origin trip, that means you go to a country that produce coffee and you learn the method. You go to different farm, learn the method of processing from bean to cup. So this was back then in year 2000. It was an amazing journey. And now I have my own company, roasting coffee. We supply to cafes. We also have our own product. And I also took up a course of processing, because my intention now is to help the farmer as well. Coffee is growing industry, so I hope to have an impact and to help the industry grow, and working closely with the farmer, especially to give quality coffee, because that's what the company needs now. So F&B, yes, and coffee is part of F&B. So it's just a little bit precise down the road. So that's how I got the coffee.
Fascinating, because now you're working with the farmers. Right, so thank you, Puan Nurin. And now we have next Mr. Hisham Tan, who's a Senior Manager for F&B and Guest Management at Digital National Berhad, DNB. Please, the floor
Thank
is
you,
yours.
Dr. Melissa. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, and very good morning to everybody, especially Dr. Unku, and all the senior members of teaching faculty of UPM, and all the students in front of me today. It's an honor to be invited together with all our team members from the Malaysian Food and Beverage Executives Association. It's an honor to be here to share our experience and our knowledge with you all. Okay, my career in this F&B industry started when I was in primary 2. My grandparents owned a kopitiam in Pontian Kecil. A very typical Hainanese kopitiam. We do our own kaya, we roast our own coffee beans, and we make our own bread as well. Not as many, but certain loaf to cater to our kopitiam needs on a daily basis. I have the opportunity to learn the typical way of doing Hainanese kaya, Hainanese way of roasting coffee, not as good as Puan Norin here. I did not pick up the trade of coffee, but I picked up the trade on the entire F&B. If you rewind back your clock when you were in primary school last time, one of the best sessions is every teacher will ask you when you grow up what you want to be, correct? Doctors lah, lawyers lah, pilot, policemen, soldiers, whatever. But when I started that, I wrote, I also want to be somebody. But when I moved to standard 3, when the question was asked again, I put there, pengusaha kopitiam. Then teacher asked me why. I said, my grandparents own a kopitiam. I like to take over the trade and learn. And during that time, RTM have education with UITM. They have about half an hour, only 1 week once, they showcase Mara for hospitality. So the F&B skills, the table setting, then I have watched it and I get excited and I get deeper and deeper to it. So I'm focused from the day that when I grow up, the F&B will be my career path. So when I completed my educations in Penang, I started to work as a casual labor in Penang hotels in Batu Ferringhi, Novotel, Orchids hotels, to get some part-time money. Then I was offered a job in Genting as a busboy. Busboy is a rank that before you can call yourself as a waiter. So you are basically assistant to the waiter. You cannot take order. Your job is only to pick up the food and serve, clean the table, reset back the table. The process for you to move up to become a full-fledged waiter where you're allowed to take order and serve, about 6 months if you are good, or some even take you to 1 year if you are a slow learner. It took me 6 months to complete my probation. The moment I complete my probation, I move up the rank as a waiter in Genting Highland itself. Then from there, I moved back to Penang. I joined Penang Goreng Stand as a waiter. From there, I slowly built up. If I work morning shift, I will stay back afternoon shift to go around all the F&B departments to learn about kitchen operations, what is gat manje, what is roti sir, what is sauce, everything there. To learn, to equip myself so it's easy for me to carry out my work in the F&B scene. So I learned about room service, I learned about banqueting, I learned about bar operations, fine dining, and I also do about poolside service, everything there. Throughout my careers, I've opened up from rank and file. I opened up 5 hotels in Malaysia, learned from different level, from waiters, everything. I studied a 3 years program in KL, affiliated with Toulouse, France. Now is under University of Taylors. It's a French program. I completed a 3 years higher diploma, which is equivalent to a degree. Very, very French, operate in Malaysia. our final exam paper is the moment they finish their paper in Toulouse itself, their lecturers will fly down to Malaysia. They will take 3 days together with a Malaysian lecturer to translate the entire French paper to English paper for us to see. So they have to go through all the languages and check everything there. So it's very, very tedious, everything there. Upon completion of my studies, I've gone back to Penang. I got a job as a waiter. Started off as a waiter in Penang Park Royal pre-opening team. Even though I'm armed with experience and with qualifications, and for that waiter job, I actually have to beg for it. Because I walk in interview, they have no news for me. I call them up. The director of admin said, "You are highly qualified. Why do you want to work waiter?" I said, "I asked for the supervisor, you said no vacancy. I asked for the captain, you also say no vacancy. Now I asked for the waiter, you ask me why do I want to work with waiter with so many qualifications. So what do you want to offer me?" So finally say, "Okay lah, you come lah." That's okay. So I started in Penang Park Royal for 1 year. Then I was offered as a management trainee in York Hotel, Singapore. So on the way to Singapore, I stopped in Komta, Johor Bahru. So I met my old peers, who is director F&B of Putri Pan Pacific, who are going to be open very soon. So he saw me doing some shopping. He asked me where I'm going. I said, "I'm going to Singapore." He said, "For holiday?" I said, "No, to take up a job offer there." So he said, "Come, you follow me up to level 16. The moment I reach there, he asked the secretary, give me a form to fill up. Then I started as a pre-operating of Putri Pan Pacific Hotel in Johor Bahru as a banquet captain. Then from there, I moved to different states in the different hotels to do a pre-opening as well. So I work in clubs, I work in restaurants, I work in hotels, I work in institutional catering. My last posting before I joined Digital National Berhad in 2021, if you heard about DMB, it's a controversial company in Malaysia, other than 1MDB. It's a 5G company, you know. It's under the Ministry of Finance. So it's basically my job is a senior F&B manager and guest management. I manage the entire F&B operations and guest management operations for this corporate company. We don't have a full-fledged F&B facility set up. My role is to engage with potential F&B operators in Klang Valley to supply food. So while I was away in last week in Kaohsiung for judging, I have a last-minute visit by Duli Yang Maha Mulia Sultan Mizan of Terengganu to the company to visit about what is 5G about. And I have to depend my assistant to do the running, where she don't have the experience at all in F&B, everything. But thank God, with my remote guidance from there and briefing before I left Malaysia to Kaohsiung, I've engaged Dorset Grand Subang to be the creator to cater for this royal event, which is also a good friend, the chef, the director F&B, the banquet manager. So I told them what is my expectation, and I told them about my assistant, you know. So from there we guide and we managed to execute the event without any complaints from the Royal Palace as well as from our management of DMB. And on the Friday itself, last Friday, we had the year-end celebration lunch, also in conjunction with 2 years anniversary. Also remotely, I engaged a caterer before I left. Then I coordinate remotely on how I want the entire food to present. And Noreen was there to conduct a coffee for my senior management about what beans for me to purchase to actually cater to the staff pantry itself and the corporate pantry itself. So basically, my career journey in the world of food and beverage is very, very fascinating. I have no regret until today, and I'm still enjoying it. To me, the world of F&B is there's no full stop. What you learn today will be a total different work plan tomorrow itself. So always don't look back. In F&B, we don't look back. when a guest scream at you, it's common. Throughout my career, it's very common. Yes. But throughout the years, then you learn how to answer them back professionally without hurting their feeling. So some of the guests are very rude. They like to use vulgar words. They see you, they don't even know how to say good morning to you. Because for them is, I'm a paying customer, why should I wait in the front entrance with a big sign and please wait to be seated? The time we realize that, our command in understanding the wording there is zero. So we just walk through. So we as a waiter, we have to chase, excuse me sir, excuse me ma'am, please, please. You know, how many of you chase everything there? You know, that's about that. So you have to be very patient. In the industry, it's full of happiness, sadness. Sometimes you feel like want to just take off your apron, just walk out. So you have to go through all these things. Nothing is easy. There's no silver platter for us in F&B. Nowadays, it's a total different games in the industry compared to, I think, all of us who are here. When we started, it's different. Our discipline is very, very tight. We are so afraid to report to duty very late. If you work at 7 in the morning, you have to be at the pantry area 15 minutes for a briefing. You are late, you'll be faced with some form of punishment. Punishment means that instead of doing a lighter job, you do a heavier job. That's about that. It's not that you're penalized, you cannot eat whatever that, everything there. But your task will be extra. So this person who's supposed to carry out this task will not be carried, but you are going to carry a dual task, everything there. So please, this is how my career. Later on, as we go, we are sharing more. I think I'll hand over to my colleagues here, Vin, to share about his career in the industry. So.
Okay, so we saved the best for last. Mr. Vin Palakrishnan, Managing Director of SEST Traders in Durian Bahar. So I've read your CV. It's also, you've come a long way. So I can't wait to hear from you as well.
Okay, good morning everyone. My dear University Putra Malaysia, thank you to all the professor and all the doctors for having us here. Okay, where do I start? That's a good question. Okay, the moment I finished my high school, I had a bit of battle with my parents. Of course, they want you to be a police, or you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, you got to be, you know, it has to be something they need to be said. I told you to do this, you do this, all right? But I chose to do the complete against to it. So I started with getting my hands dirty, being in Kentucky Fried Chicken. We all love chickens, all right? All right, so I worked there for about a year. It was a very good journey. I started to know how to do a buzzering job, how to clear up plates, trays, washing toilets, right? Then being behind the bar, doing cashier, then doing backup, being cook. Basically, I did all departments. They call it as All-Star. I believe they still have it in that sense. Then, of course, KFC is not gonna really lead my expertise. So what I do is, so I quit the job. Then I supposed to pursue my studies. Then I went into to uni to do waterproofing engineering, which is, if any one of you asks, are you still an engineer? I said, I'm not. All right, so I didn't complete my engineering, but I did went and do some practicals. So I built hospitals. I did a lot of indoor water projects. I did some waterproofing in there. But I told myself that that's nothing. Engineering is not my part. So I need to look forward for what exactly I'm made of for. So I was looking for these newspapers, and I told my mom, it's like, I'm going to get some part-time job. I need to get some money, right? Then I went to a newspaper, then I saw this cafe called Espresso Mante Ili. So it's a first franchise for Malaysia. It's from Italy. It's managed by a group called the Gastronom Management, so which is the company that I stepped into, where I set my milestone for 10 years with them. Why I stayed for 10 years with that company, it is because it is called Gastronom Management, so it had such a unique, vibrant team in terms of the managing director all the way to the steps down to the general manager to the operations manager and stuff. Yeah, so I started with this barista knowledge, but that's the time when, like Kak Noreen was mentioning earlier, that was the days where no such scene as now. Now you have cafes everywhere, like mushrooms. But those days was only a battle between Starbucks, Coffee Beans, Dome, what else, San Francisco and stuff. So when Ely came into a picture, Ely is more emphasizing into espresso standards. So they are very particular about how to brew the coffee to get out the right espresso out of it. So till now in the industry, people call me that this guy brew the best espresso. I don't know. I claim say that, but yeah. So from there it started my journey. Then I was almost giving up at some point where I wanted to continue back my studies because of course I got a peer pressure from my family saying that you need to do something about it. And there comes my immediate supervisor, which is a Australian Italian mixed guy. So he just went like, "Oh really? What if I give you another choice for you to not do this, but you can do this?" I was like, "Are you trying to persuade me?" It's like, "No. I can see that you have something good in yourself, something value in yourself that you should pursue," which is he saw the way how I have an interest of making coffee, and I show the passion towards that particular job. And it's just like, okay, cool, there you go. I get your education for you to study, and then you probably get to take a flight to Italy to do your master barista. I was like, are you for real? Yeah, so this is how the journey it has begun. So I had a chance to fly to the foreign country to learn about how in depth, in detail, or how the espressos and the coffee is supposed to be made. Yeah, so from there, so I got back, then I got a lot more knowledge to pass on to our fellow Malaysians because the standard was so different. And obviously in Malaysia, we don't have, now we do we don't have all our experts around. For those days, we were lacking of lot of other technologies, I would say. Like we have roasting, they have a lot of technologies to see, even on the machines, on the tools and stuff. So, yeah. So from there, what did I do? I got a lot on the list, so sorry. Yeah. So then from Ely, then I slowly climbed my stairs. That I went to the head barista and I start training the baristas in the cafes. Then the group was the Gastrodome Group Management is they used to own La Bodega, Press Room, Ely, and then they used to have another called El Cafe or something. So I joined the management asked me to they promote me to become a group barista trainer. Then I start training around the entire restaurants, the team, to keep the standards of coffee in the group because there was a lot of other chains of groups being prominently doing well in the industry. So we need to have a little bit of healthy challenges. So we need to who's gonna have the best coffees and who's gonna have the best tapas, who has the best pastas, for all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was a good journey for me to be in a management role for Gastrodome management. So I started from barista all the way. Then I start to put a stop to Gastrodome management after 10 years. Then what is my next challenge? So I joined the big group. The big group is a complete different scene. It's all different vibes. It's that group is going towards they're going on a fast growth. So they were like, Benjamin Yong, I was reporting to Benjamin Yong personally to himself. So Ben was like, every time he was like pushing the team towards, we need to open another 5 more restaurants coming along the line. So what were you going to do? So my role was completely different. I was not even into operationals or nothing. I was into projects. So I was like, he given me a role where, okay, Vin, I need you to take care of this entire bar projects. I want you to help me to set up the entire bar, and I want this bar to be USP to something. So it means you need to have a one unique selling point. What what gonna makes your clients to come into this restaurant or this bar? So I was more specialized into the bar. So I was building this bar. So I have to do a tequila bar, I have to do a vodka bar, kind of stuff. So he has his own restaurants. It's focused on the food driven, and then he has bars and clubs. He wants to focus on the beverage driven. So this is how the challenge that I got. So I went into from barista to management. Then I jumped into projects to start doing project management. So I got to know about how to do the backhands. Basically, from the scratch. So if you want to open up a restaurant, you should know how to know the scratch, how to draw, the layout of it, and then how do you get the AutoCAD, all this done with the ID designers and getting all the project teams to come over on the site. So all this, all this was learned. This was the next challenge that I learned with the big group. So which is, it was intense. Towards a point, I was managing 32 entities, 30 restaurants, and every single time, like, there's something goes wrong somewhere in one restaurant, Ben will be like, Vin, this outlet is wrong. I'm expecting you to be here in 15 minutes. I'll be like the other side of the town, right? So it was a good experience, journey for me to manage, to micromanage, to all these kind of things. So from there, then I decided to okay, how long more can we do this? Then should we try something else? So that is where I joined force with my head of operation, head of operations of the big group, Mr. Matthew. Then I joined him to open up a French bistro, in Bangsa, in downtown Bangsa. Then I started up a small little coffee company alongside with him, so where we just supply for coffees for restaurants, for cafes, for bistros, for pubs. All right, so with that, then so that was ended in the April this year. Then I decided to make a really big leap of move in my life, which is starting up my own company. So that's where I started with Sasti Traders. Sasti Traders is a beverage company. I'm starting up to do a lot of unimaginable stuff. So starting with a lab and stuff. Then I have Sasti Eats. Sasti Eats is my catering company. It's a food company. We do a lot of local foods, indulge. We supply for corporate clients. We are looking for doing for major caterings and stuff. Yeah. So with all this experience apart, I would say, where do I get the other side of the world unlocked, which is the judging. The judging part is where also the biggest unlock achievement in my life. So where we have M.F.B.E.A and we have BGA, we have a community called M.F.B.E.A, Malaysia Specialty Coffee Association, where we conduct a lot of competitions and stuff. So this is where industry professionals will come into to share your knowledge, to take the lead, to evaluate the newcomers, the youngsters, to come and you guys brew the coffee, and then we show you how this course is supposed to be done. This is what usually Kanurin, Kafarida, Mr. Isham, Ms. Leslie, we all do in M.F.B.E.A, where it comes to FHM. So we do the Culinary Malaysia, we we build, we organize, and then we do all these competitions. So this is where the arena started, and then from local to international. So this is how it was. So the journey never stops, and I never stop from that too. So if you ask, I'm still learning no matter what. So this is the journey that I have today, and I would love to share more to you guys on the next upcoming subjects.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Vin. All right. I'd now like to ask Puan Farida, because she works with the youth and the audience is predominantly young people. Okay, why should we work in hospitality? Because you chose to do both, to work with the young people and in the hospitality industry.
Okay, why? Why I started Coffee for Good? Because this is an example. Among the skills that is available for anyone to learn, F&B or food and beverage or hospitality is not the easiest but the fastest. Fastest where you can start gaining income, because the others you maybe require longer time. Let's say you learn repairing electrical parts or motor or any other vocational skills. And also in hospitality, you don't require highly educated person to be able to start being adult, meaning having your own income, especially for like, because I started Coffee for Good, is for youth to have a platform to start working, because some of them did not complete school. So F&B or hospitality is the easiest way or the fastest way for them to start
Okay.
their working journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then can I ask the other panels, what aspect of the hospitality industry appeals to you the most? Maybe start with Mr. Hishamtan.
For me, I think if you are in the hospitality industry, I just say hospitality is very general because you covers HoReCa, basically hotel, restaurant, cafe, bistro, everything. I think every sections of the F&B units in any establishment is very, very unique. They have their own uniqueness. If you walk in nowadays, during our time, we are called coffee house, or we call it coffee terrace. But nowadays, we will call it all day dining. Or they have special name for brasseries, you know. Like you go to Shangri-La, they're all dining, they have a special name, Lemon Cafe. You go to Mandarin Oriental also, they have a cafe, because they want to be identified as a brand. They do not want to be called general, because they have specific signature food and beverage to be served in the outlet if you go there. If you go to maybe Shangri-La, they say they have the best buffet till today. If you go to maybe to the Majestic, they say also they have the best buffet. Everybody claim they have the best buffet. It depending of how is the buffet spread is presented to all of you as a potential customer or as their frequent customers, everything. So for me, every F&B section in the hotels or even in a standalone is very, very unique. You just have to learn about what are they offering. You have to go behind and understand the concept of the F&B setup. Regardless whether you join them as a beginning, as a floor staff to serve, before you learn to serve, you must learn about the menu. The menu terminology is very important. Nowadays, when we take a job because we want money, not because we want to sustain in the job. We like to hope around. When I started as a waiter, my basic pay is only 175 ringgit. 175. And we have 2 service points. One service point, depending on the business of the hotels or resort, can even have 1.300 ringgit or 1.400 ringgit. So take-home pay is below 1,000 ringgit. Now, if we have a starting pay of 1,500 ringgit as per the minimum wage gazetted, some hotels are paying 2,002 ringgit, 2,003 ringgit, but we still have not able to attract Malaysians to work in the industry itself. So for me, every department, if you work in the hotels, are very, very important. They contribute to the revenue of the industry itself. So.
Okay, Vin, and then I will ask Noreen as well. What is the most important skill that hospitality professionals must have? What do you think? Yes.
The most, what, sorry, what's the question?
The most important skill.
Important skill.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to put this as the first point. Persona. Persona, yeah, your personality, your upbringing, your professional language, your behaviors. It's a much need in a service industry, because if you don't have a professionalism behavior in a service industry, because when it comes to F&B, if you don't have this, you can't move forward. You can't be like having a grumpy face walking around in a service industry, right? So first comes to the professional behavior. Second is soft skills. Soft skills. How good your soft skills are, because I don't believe on this technology towards AI. You know, like, I mean, the AI, some settings of AIs are pretty good, but we're talking about robots. I don't want to be like robots making my coffees. So you know my answer there. So yeah, so the professional behavior, the language, the how we brought up ourselves, and how do we gonna present ourselves in the service, and the soft skills we have. You merge this together, you have your weapons to move forward. You know what I mean? You like keep on adding your fuel to your engine, and then just keep forward. That's will be the best, I would think.
Persona and soft skills.
Soft skills and the persona, yes.
Puan Farid, Noreen, sorry.
I very much agree with the wins there. I also believe that personal attitude. First and foremost, you have to look at your attitude, your persiveness, your openness, and you have to treat how you treat people, especially in industry. And personally, F&B, hospitality, is the biggest industry or the biggest thing that's in our lives. Whether you are an accountant or doctor or a lawyer, to put it in simple manner, you still have to eat. You know, it's food and beverage. So that's the most biggest impact. And why I say attitude is, at the end of the day, how you treat people, how you have an impact in your life yourself. So that's, for me, how to bring in to hospitality.
Oh, yes. Yes, I agree very much. Yeah. I would like to also add that customer experience is also very important. Okay? Without the guests, we can't do any service, right? So it's all about how we complete the whole experience during the dining of the customers in your restaurant. The minute when they enter until the minute they settle the bill and leave. So whether the customer will return or not is all vital during the service. So we also like to have repeatance of customers, the same customers come in. At the same time, we also like to have new customers as well, right? This is how we can grow the business, right? So it's not, the service is actually very important in this business because we are providing service, right? the tools are all there. It's how you provide the service, your genuinity of your approach to the customers, uh, how they like your service, on top of the food and drinks, environment, ambience, all these things play a very important role in this business. And we just don't want to just to work for the money. We want to work for our self-satisfaction. We want the recognition from the customers. You know, these are important things, I think, that we need to highlight for everyone who wants to work in this industry, right? Take the job important seriously. At the same time, enjoy doing the service to the guests. Eventually, I think the customers will come back again, and because they like they like your services, you know, the way you treated them. I think this is very vital. It's vital in the business, in any business also. As long as we're providing services, not only food and beverage, but also other services that we provide to the guests. I think that is very important to build the company's reputations and build the foundation of, you know, the whole thing. Yeah,
Wan
thanks.
Farida, what would you say is the most important skill for professionals in the hospitality industry to have?
I believe other than those that they have mentioned is communication.
Okay. Yeah.
Because as a business owner, I've received a lot of inquiry from young people, and sometimes even a short WhatsApp message also, there's no opening, there's no content, I don't know, WeChat language. So please know who you are speaking to. And this is very, very important. Do not use short forms whenever dealing with work related or professional matters. But with your friends doesn't matter. But please, always communication is number one. It reflects who you are. And with that also, is why I can make a decision whether should I answer you or not. Because
How
with
important it is.
yes, please.
I would like to add another one. The other thing is also knowledge. Usually macam people who are going
Of all trades, but master of none. So, okay, that's the first question. The second one is from your observation, since you are already in the industry, what are the trends in the food industries that are emerging that we could keep our eyes on in 4 years' time? Like Madam Farida and Noreen say, you are in the coffee industry, right? So in like 2000, the coffee industry was not so familiar here in Malaysia. But what about us in right now? Okay, so so for the last question is, I was intrigued by what Mr. Vin said that there are many other countries' food in Malaysia, but is there any Malaysia food in other countries? So is it possible? Is there any place for us if we want to like base in other country, like penetrate the foreign market? Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Networking start now when you are still in universities. You should not hide in the campus. You must go out. Form up your own internal working group. Go out and see. Means that you can start to reach out to any other universities. Write to them. Exchange. Start to have a networking. You being a second year student in UPM can actually do a networking night, exchange program with other universities who are having the similar courses that offer to them. Don't be worried about private names like Taylor's Universities, Sunway University. Don't worry about them. They're just a brand. You should be proud of your own brand. You start up with your own networking here at UPM campus. You need any help how to create the networking night, make it a memorable night that's all related to F&B, reach out to us. We'll become your mentor and guide you for that. To start and from other university to pick up from you on how to do the networking night. Networking also means that you can reach out to all the established property outside around this area. IOI Resort, Marriott Putrajaya. Reach out to their HR. Okay? Form up a team of you that we have a list of name here. This is our experience. These are our years of study. This is what we can do. This is where you start to establish yourself as a team of F&B people moving around Putrajaya area or the entire Sri Kemangan area to offer services to them when they need. They have banqueting, they have all-day dining, everything they need manpower. So instead of them hiring foreign workers to work, where you all can actually eliminate all these foreign workers from the industry around this area by offering your expertise and getting some extra allowance. That allowance is for your pocket money and contribute back to your internal club to form up events that's related to what what you are studying, and also for you to do R&D, to learn from Puan Norin, coffee expert, Puan Farida about entrepreneur, from Mr. Win about operations, Leslie about also club operation, everything there. We were willing to share our expertise and idea about networking, everything. So no worry about that. Reach out to them for the networking night. And we also have our own networking night. But our networking nights, people like you are worried to come because you all are scared we are all professional. Our networking, we go everywhere. If you all want to have a networking with a professional, reach to us, tell us. We'll advise you how to do it. We are willing to come to UPM to have all the professional for networking, for you to showcase your knowledge and your skills to us on that.
But what was the next question? Because we have 4 minutes remaining. Oh, that's for Vin, I think. For whom? For anyone. Anyone.
I might want to highlight because my clients are mostly corporates. So I recently closed down my shop because I see that the trend is so many people want to open a coffee shop and we are attracting the same customer. So what we are not focusing on is the corporates. So what do corporates want? Like for now, they are had the most highlight area is the ESG. So in what manner can your offering or your service actually suits their ESG requirements? ESG is environmental, social, and governance. So you can see the trend for the next 5 years. What are the trends? So and start offering your service or your product that suits that trend, so that you outshines the others, and also you don't share the same customer as everyone else.
Sorry, I agree with Puan Farida, because as I mentioned back then, year 2000, it was not really a trend. It is a trend, coffee, but a different kind of coffee. So for Malaysia, it was evolved in our way. But the trend that came in is everywhere around the world already. So, and it's evolving right now as well. That's why I'm going into farming. Not I'm going to farming, but I learned about farming to help and to work together with the farmer to create different kind of market. So the coffee market is still growing, inshallah.
Okay, answer to the last question. Malaysia, we always have the best stuff. All right, so I was reading through this Taste Atlas awards, 100 best countries in the world. So Malaysia ranked at the 31st. Can you imagine? With best cuisines, we have the mix of all the cuisines. But guess what? The second particular dish was in the world. I mean, Malaysia recorded second place. We are known for roti canai. Yeah, so if you're saying that, can you imagine that food culture we have in Malaysia? It's different. That is why we have so much of expatriates, so many countries, so many tourists are coming into our country, and you can see how much do they love our food, our culture, because this is how we welcome them. This is how the warmth. So your question, can we do this to the neighboring country or wherever we go? Of course we can. Wherever we go, we can nail it, of course, because that we have that love in the culinary, in the food. So whatever we give, we put every proposition with love in there. So taking our ideas to moving to countries that we need, definitely there is a lot of chance. But getting those ingredients is always a question mark there. Yeah. Okay? Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. I think we've come to the end of the career sharing session. I'd like to thank every one of the panel speakers, Mr. Leslie Hon, Puan Farida, Puan Noreen, Mr. Hisham Tan, and Vin Palakrishnan. Thank you so much for your valuable time and knowledge and experience.
Thank you.
Well, we are now already at the end of our session. Thank you for your participation and a special thanks to the panelists for addressing all the questions. Also, thank you Dr. Wan Melissa for conducting the sharing session today. Next, Mr. Leslie Hon Kak Sen. Next, Madam Farida Halina Zairi. Thank you, Dr. Unku, for presenting the token of appreciation. Before we end our session today, I would like to invite Dr. Ahmad Farid, to Vice President of Youth Education and Training, M.F.B.E.A, to provide an overview of M.F.B.E.A membership to our audience. Please welcome Dr. Farid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just take about a few minutes of your sweet time. Yeah. First of all, on behalf of M.F.B.E.A, we would like to thanks everyone to joining us in this occasion today. I just want to promote for your information that we in M.F.B.E.A we have created our new wing, which is a youth education and training wing. So we would like to invite all the students here, because one of the question from our young lady just now about how to networking, right? So M.F.B.E.A is one of the occasion where we will create some activities where you can networking not only among our students in UPM but all over Malaysia and also international level. So we are planning to do that. So we would like to invite everyone. I will hand over all the forms to your respective lecturers. The forms, you are welcome to join us to become M.F.B.E.A members. And to give example to everyone, yeah. For your information, most of our lecturers in the Department of Food Service and Management are already registered to become the members for M.F.B.E.A. So for that, I would like to call upon our president, Mr. Hisham Tan Abdullah, to hand over some of the certificates of membership from our lecturers to Dr. Unku Yang Mulia Unku Fatimah. So I would like to call upon Encik Hisham, please. So more program in the pipeline, inshallah. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Hisham, and thank you, Dr. Unku. So with that, once again, I would like to call everyone to join us in M.F.B.E.A. There's a lot of funds. We have culinary, we have HM, we have a lot of experience. We just give you 5 extraordinary person here today from M.F.B.E.A. We have more to come. So please join us in M.F.B.E.A. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Farid, for the informative briefing. Now, I would like to invite all the panelists and moderator to take a group photo. For the students, please move to the center of the hall for a brief photo session with our esteemed panelists. Your participation is much appreciated. Thank you.